Hello and welcome to another session in mathematics. In this session, we'll be looking at integration. But before that, let us take a review of our previous lesson. Welcome back. Our focus in this study will be on integration by substitution. Integration by what? Substitution. Okay, let us start with some examples to illustrate how this works. If we have a question like evaluate the integral of 5x minus 2 all raised to power 3 dx. Looking at this, someone will get confused because of the power here. Okay, now when something like this happens, you solve using the substitution. Okay, how do we do that? Let us start. You first of all say let v be equal to this one's in the bracket. It's just like solving differentiation by chain rule. You remember that? Just like the chain rule of differentiation. Okay, but we'll call this substitution in what? Integration. So let this be v. So we have v to be equal to 5x minus 2. Remember, you don't touch the power. Okay, so if v is equal to 5x minus 2, therefore our dv over dx, that is differentiating v with respect to x, is equal to what? 5. If you differentiate 5x, you have 5. Differentiate minus 2, you have what? 0. Remember, right? Now this is our equation 1. This is our equation 1. Now we found the value of dv over dx. We need to find the value of dx here. There is the x in the question. So what's the value of the x? How do we do that? We then have dv to be equal to 5 dx, right? Therefore dx is equal to dv over 5. Okay, so that's the value of what? The dx, and we call that equation 2. Now by substitution, we substitute equation 1 and equation 2 in this given question. Okay, so from equation 1, we have the integral of 5x minus 2 is equal to what? V. So we have v because of the cube here, so we have v raised to power what? 3. V raised to power what? 3. And then we have the x, but we are given that the value of the x is equal to what? Dv over dx. So we have dv all over what? All over 5. dv all over 5. So we can now do what? Integrate this. Okay, let's go over to the next page so that we can solve that. We have the integral of v cube, then dv over 5. And what we need to do here is to bring out this 5. This 5 is something as 1 over 5 times the integral of v cube then dv. Is that correct? So we have 1 over 5 into v 3 plus what? 1. You remember? All over 3 plus 1. Then you add your what? C. You add your what? C. Now this C represents the dv that we've been using all this while. So we then have 1 over 5 into v raised to power 4 all over what? 4. Okay, therefore we have plus c plus c. Therefore we have 1 times v raised to power 4, and that will give us what? V raised to power what? 4. We'll have 5 times 4, which will give us what? 20 plus what? C. Is that correct? So what is now the value of v? This is the last solution. So we now substitute the value of what? V. So what's our v? Let's go back to the question. When we started, we let v be what? 5x minus 2. So wherever we see v, we now replace what? 5x minus 2, and that will give us 5x minus 2 raised to power what? 4 all over 20 plus c, and that's what? The answer. Okay, this is what we call what? Integration by what? Substitution. Let's take number 2. Assuming we are given the integral of x raised to power 3 minus 2 raised to power 2 into 3x squared dx. Okay, looking at this, we need to replace x cubed minus what? 2. Is that right? And then 3x squared. We need to replace these two. So we start by saying let v be equal to this. So we have x cubed minus 2 as our what? As our v. Then the v over dx will be equal to what? 3x squared. Is that correct? Fine. Now, what's the value of dv? What's the value of dv? Dv is equal to 3x squared dx. 3x squared dx. Is that correct? So wherever we see dv, we replace it with what? 3x squared dx. And wherever we see dx, we replace it with what? Dv. Is that clear now? Fine. So let's proceed. Then this is our equation 2, and then this is our equation 1. So we now substitute equation 1 and equation 2 in this question, and then we'll have that to be the integral of, this is our v, remember, v raised to power 2, that is v squared. Is that correct? Then this is given to be what? Dv. Look at it here. It's given to be dv. So we have dv. Okay? So to integrate this, we then have v 2 plus 1, right? All over 2 plus 1. And then we replace dv with what? C. And that will give us v raised to power 3 all over 3 plus c. Right? So we now substitute the value of what? V. V is given to be what? X raised to power 3 minus 2. Let's go to the next page. Okay, we then have x raised to power 3 minus 2 raised to power what? 3 all over 3 plus what? Plus c. And that's just the answer. Okay, so we'll stop here today. To refresh your memory of what we've just done, kindly provide the answer to the following questions on the screen. Welcome back. So far we've been able to deal with integration by substitution. So we call it a day here. Do well to use the lesson note on the platform for better information on what we've just done. And feel free to drop your questions or comment on the comment section. Till we meet again, stay safe and bye.